co-host to you, the proprietor of the French Toast, Grab It and Go, and Jane Cargill's favorite podcaster, your friend and his, the great Brian Lax.
Aloha, Jim. A pleasure to be here once again. Bit of a letdown for those big Jade Cargill fans this week. Wasn't that much action on AEW.
I've seen more action at the senior home when Bill Apter does his stand-up routine than I saw this week on television.
Or at the senior home and Vern goes home with his killing rampage.
Well, now, there's a lot of action there. I mean, you know, people can get hurt in situations like when those 85 and 90-year-old former NCAA champions. Well, anyway, nevertheless, I'm slappy. Don't distract me. I won't even remember what the fuck I'm talking about here. We're recording later. The sun has gone down. You know, you remember when Michael Jackson and Elton John teamed up on that duet, Don't Let Your Sun Go Down on Me. The sun has gone down here. It's dark. Here in Louisville, Kentucky, we have never recorded, in the modern podcast era of the Experience or the Drive-Thru, have we recorded after dark? That's a question.
I don't think so. I mean, it's been getting dark earlier, obviously, because of the time of year, but I don't think so.
Well, yeah, but it's not dark. It's fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're doing this late. It's my fault, partially.
We've ended when it's dark.
My fault.
We've ended when it's dark.
Well, sometimes that happens. When you go that long, you know, you go all night, you go a little longer. Anyway, I delayed this because I had a surprise deck repair this week. I wasn't going to have this done, but my crew, Alf and Ralph, the Monroe brothers, my work crew that does the repairs and things around the castle here, they had a free week. And they called me up because something fell through, and I said, well, let's do the deck instead of waiting until the spring. I've had some rotten boards because it's a wooden deck here off the office. I'm in the east wing. And the boards were rotten, and I've been looking at that nice composite decking material. It's so nice, you can mop it. It's slicker than a whistle, whatever. You got me so frazzled I can't form a cogent simile. So, I thought, all right, we're going to do this. Well, that necessitated they're having to work during the day, banging and pounding and drilling and all this stuff. So I said, Brian, we got to record at 5 o'clock. But that's still daylight. But then earlier today, your entrance music, if you ever do make a personal appearance anywhere besides the bank, your entrance music really ought to be, give me just a little more time, and our podcast will surely record. Give me just, because then you ask for another 45 more minutes. And did I ever tell you about when Ox Baker's greatest closing line of any wrestling program in history?
I'm not sure.
He goes 15 minutes Broadway with Cowboy Bob Ellis or somebody on Bruiser's TV show in Indianapolis, and Sam Miniker's doing a commentary live at ringside. He's got the live mic, and the bell rings, the time is up, and Sam's winding up the show, and Ox leans out and says, Sam, give me 35 more seconds. It was hilarious the way he said it. Not give me 5 more minutes like they usually in the case of a draw like that. Give me 35. So I was mentioning earlier that I'm tired because we're recording. It's already dark. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I'm running a castle here. I've got shit going on. And I've had to watch bad wrestling with the Monroe brothers and my shipment. We're out of my shipment that I've been reinforcing yesterday. And the third printing of Behind the Curtain is still delayed somewhere in Chicago. I've had all kinds of things going on. I've had time. I've had time to have in your day for more things to go wrong. And for me to get more fed up with life in general. And of course, that's what we usually, of course. So forgive me if I'm a little grumpier today. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm usually so pleasant. You want to in advance. So our update on politics real quick here in the United States of America. Our idiot loser whiny president still won't quit. He still will not admit that he lost the election. He will still You want to laugh because he's going out like such a cartoon buffoon, except it is putting people in danger and people are going to die and all this shit. Because once again, for our foreign audience, our international fans, listeners, until this administration certifies that Joe Biden is the president-elect, they don't get the security briefings and they don't get all the inside scoop on everything. And so that the transition team can do what transition means, go from one administration to another, transition in a smooth and efficient manner, which Biden and Obama bent over backwards, make sure that this different band of pranksters would have everything they needed, which of course they disbanded, fired, gutted, and screwed up. But now this idiot...
What is this? Get me out of this.
Nosferatu, his personal attorney, still filing frivolous lawsuits that are getting slapped down like a fly at a fucking barbecue in the summertime all over the country. He's hiding in the White House. He's hunkered down probably in the West Wing, surrounded by towers and Big Mac boxes, while Max Schreck, Esquire, goes out and does press conferences in front of dildo stores and landscaping places. And today, Brian, you saw this. Giuliani actually goes up there, and this is on worldwide television. He's got a picture of a map of all the states that he says Trump is going to win as soon as they're going to throw out all their fucking votes. And with a straight face, he's sweating profusely. Now, I know it may have been more with the TV lights, but there's women wearing makeup behind him, there's a guy wearing a suit. Everybody else seems to be comfortable. This motherfucker is sweating like a whore in church. And he's pointing all this shit and actually mouthing the words. He said these words. He said, we've got plenty of evidence. I can't tell you what it is right now, but it's plenty to overturn the election. His fucking hair dye that he's touched himself up with that bluish braiding that he has, his hair dye is running down both sides of his ears, melting. Somebody said it looked like an android leaking oil, except then if he had some type of mechanical brain, he wouldn't be
nuts.
spouting off nonsense. What the, he looks deranged now. Is he? Check him on range.
This is a rock.
I'm someone who has seen Giuliani since I was a kid on TV when he was mayor of New York. He's always been a presence on TV. He's added money. Even his daughter basically said that when she came out last week to speak up against it.
When you got that much liquid running down your face and he had his handkerchief, he was blotting the front of his face where he was sweating in his eyes, but he wasn't going to the side where the black streaks looking like Wahoo McDaniel was just like on Ronnie Garvin in a hot fucking armory.
How do you get that close to me?
North Carolina. It's coming, and he won't blot.
Get me out of this shit.
It's actual black ink running down his face.
What is that deployed?
Donald Trump is still tweeting, well, our path to victory. And even the people close to him are saying, no, he doesn't think this is actually going to work because it's not going to work, but he's milking this long enough that he can still build his sucker supporters that he got screwed some kind of way. So his final middle finger to the United States of America, after fucking everything up for 4 years and being an embarrassment and a source of disgrace and shame for our country around the world, and actually screwing everything up here in this country up to and including people dying because he couldn't figure his shit out. And he was too fucking stubborn to tell his hillbilly fucking voters that they were stupid, sucker idiots and they couldn't be listening to the doctor. He got one from me because I'm a liar. You couldn't come clean then. So now he's on the last little figure all around is, I'm going to make people not trust the fucking election and fuck with Biden. Just so that they'll continue to support me as I try to bilk them for money to get out of whatever legal problems I'm going to be in if I can't figure out a way to pardon myself. Oh! And he's fired everybody running the Pentagon, so for the next couple months, you know, if this was a movie in the 60s produced by Disney, Don Knotts, or maybe fucking, Well, what was the other guy that started? Kurt Russell. It was Kurt Russell.
That was like 2 people shooting me?
Not the fucking cool Snake Plissken Kurt Russell, but the computer wore tennis shoes Kurt Russell. Or maybe even a Saint Bernard will be in charge of the most powerful army on the face of the planet for the next few months so that somebody can slip in and do whatever they want to us while everybody's looking at Pretty Monkey over at the fucking White House. It is our orangutan chief. Giuliani was melting like Prince of Christ in a house of wax. It was an act metaphor for this administration.
What you say, you're standing next to women and families over the playing time. This team, no one is having this problem. No one in the America, no one else is noticed. I looked for it. I was on Twitter on Twitter. I was really editing. I said, what the hell is this? Let me go check it out. He just had the dye coming down one side of the face, but then he turned it and noticed it was both sides. Yes.
Both sides of his fucking ghoulish, corpse-like face. But it was, you know, he looks like if Kevin Dunn lived in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house and was like the fucking nephew of the old man. Rudy Giuliani looks like an old man Texas Chainsaw Massacre Kevin Dunn with the fucking teeth and the fucking, and they've got him tied to a chair somewhere. And his hair is melting. I got a couple of viewer mail here. I'm just, normally I don't do this, but these were phrased politely. And also because I got a kick out because I got these like the same day. And it's kind of the same, just apparently we know that our audience has to grind, because the majority is male, but we do have our female listeners.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Many of our female listeners have been exposed to us, I guess that would be the right phrase, sort of like a virus, exposed to us by their significant male in their relationship, right? But then they kind of get a kick out of it too somehow. And there's others that just have to go along for the ride anyway, because that's one of those things they accept as long as they, you know, at least maybe they get to get their boyfriend to leave the toilet seat down or whatever, but they gotta still listen to it. So I got a couple of them.
Fuck!
Dear Ken, in all honesty, I'm sick of hearing your voice. Every morning and every night, your podcast plays through the speaker of my husband's phone. I roll my eyes daily at every Jim Cornette reference, but he remains a loyal fan. He's got to be a bigger fan. If you could please give him a shout out on your show so his life could be complete. In addition to the Cult of Cornette membership certificate I just ordered him. Thank you very much. His name is Pussy Magnet Nixon. I would be forever grateful. Pussy Magnet Nixon. That's the way I filled out the certificate because I checked the order at the same time. She says if I would give him a shout out, she says she would be forever grateful. SMH, which is, I understand, is what the kids say, shaking my head. SMH, the things I put up with. Thanks. Hello, Pussy Magnet Nixon. You say Nixon? No, Nixon. Nixon, M-I-X-O-N, Nixon.
It's funny if it was Nixon.
Well, no, he was no pussy magnet.
He was not a crook.
He's not a pussy magnet. And then also Karen writes in. By the way, that last one was from Ren. Or kissing. It's for sure. Oh my God. Angie Dickinson. What the fuck did that little troll-faced fucking German fuck out? Anyway. Hello, Jim and Brian. My fiance Joe is completely obsessed with the podcast and pretty much listens to y'all daily. I know what part of the country you're coming from, honey. He likes to make me watch horrendous wrestling skits that drive me insane. Then he follows it up with your podcast, which I have to admit makes me laugh hysterically because you will say the exact thing I was thinking while watching these skits. Especially those with Matt Hardy and Chris.
Fucking suck my fucking dick.
The shameless advertisement plugs that Joe has actually bought and loves. Joe Max Free. Let me get to my point. Joe would love a shout out, especially with the thank you fuck you buy at the end. He heard you tell someone that on a shout out and has been wanting his own for a while. Life has been really hectic since COVID, but it has been really nice to sit and laugh with Joe over listening to you roast pro wrestlers. Well, Karen, thank you very much, and happy holidays to you too. And Joe, thank you, fuck you. Bye. Buy more COVID. Buy more Omax. Buy more COVID. Buy more Omax.
More COVID.
Buy more Ovaltine. Whatever the fuck. I told you I was sleepy.
I can tell.
Anyway, that's what I got. So what do you got for this show?
It's your show today.
I thought you were going to run this today. All right, well, in that case, folks, if you are indeed out there within the sound of my voice and you are depressed by your partner's addiction to Jim Cornette podcast, then I suggest you get a hold of the folks at BetterHelp. Whether you have a partner that is shamelessly listening to me 24 hours a day, or you just need actual experienced counselors to talk to about legitimate real problems, the folks at BetterHelp can help you out. They can match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. Professional counseling done securely online with a broad range of expertise, not available locally. Of course, nobody goes out in person anymore. Once you set up with BetterHelp, you can log into your account anytime you want to, send messages to your counselors, get responses, set up weekly video or phone sessions. They're committed, I should say, to facilitating great therapeutic matches between you and your counselor. So if you go to BetterHelp.com, you can read the testimonials they post every day. BetterHelp.com, and that's, by the way, Better H-E-L-P. And if you go to BetterHelp.com and /JCE, it always sounds so violent for it to be /JCE, then you'll get 10% off your first month's counseling services. BetterHelp.com /JCE. And actually, Brian, this all ties together because I'm driving these poor women just absolutely to the end of their rope. So maybe they need somebody to talk to about how to get their partners and significant others off the Cornette habit. Put them on a last habit.
Always a good idea.
All right, what are we doing on the programming? We got programming notes. This coming week on the drive-thru. Well, next week. We got a weekend in between it. The next drive-thru we do, it will not be out on Monday. It will be out on Tuesday because we are doing a doubleheader on that program with Thanksgiving flavor. We're not only watching and reviewing the Survivor Series pay-per-view that takes place Sunday night, but we are also doing a watch-along of an actual, not only a Thanksgiving time classic, but a legitimate I Quit match between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. That's on the drive-thru, which will come out Tuesday, November 24th. Is that correct?
I believe so. Put in my calendar here.
I'll just take my word for it.
Tuesday, November 24th. Indeed.
See there? Got me. And then, next week's, well, I confirmed what you said. Well, I don't think I need you to vouch for me. I have quite a bit of cachet with my word as my bond to begin with. But next week, on the Jim Cornette Experience, it's going to be one day late. And what the fuck's that Saturday, calendar boy?
That's 28th.
Okay, and the reason for that is because we're not going to record on Thanksgiving Day. And if you expect us to, well, you need to lead a more exciting life. And so that's the programming update, right, for the next week or so.
For the next week or so, yes.
Next couple of shows. And real briefly, JimCornette.com. I'm not even going to sell any of the merchandise individually. I'm not going to plug it. You know how good it is. You know you want it. You want it bad. You've got to admit it. But get your orders in quick. The busy season has begun. Things have picked up, and the post office is going to be delayed this coming weekend with the Thanksgiving holiday festivities and all that stuff. So get your orders in early. That's all I've got to say. Don't be writing me on Christmas Eve going, "Where's my shit I ordered 3 days ago?" Boy, I have a surly way of selling merchandise to customers, don't I? But it is true. Things are. A time crunch is going to get involved here, people. If you expect to get anything, and international orders, do it this week or Christmas may be far-fetched because mail's going to pick up again. And domestics, within the next 10 days or so, you need to be planning this 2 weeks. Make sure you get it in so that I can turn around and get it out. You can have it in your hot little hands ahead of time. Just a word to the wise. Can you see me putting my finger up to my eye? Why do people do that, Brian?
I don't know.
They always a word to the wise, and they put their finger up to their eye, and they pull it down, and they look at you like that, kind of sideways.
Who's doing that to you?
A lot of people do that. You see people do that all the time.
I don't see people do that all the time.
You know, you live in the wrong place.
Or the right place, depending on how you look at it.
Well, it depends on whether you want to see a lot of people with their finger in their eye. I don't know. Why are you thinking around in circles here? I'll do anything you want. Just tell me what we're doing.
This is the experience after dark. All right,
I got another email because this is going to bring up an interesting subject. Hopefully. From Joseph. He says some good things about the merchandise that I'm not going to sell individually and how he can't stop reading the graphic novel and all these good things he says about the podcast. I won't enumerate all of those. But finally, a question, perhaps for the bribery test. I'm reading it on the experience. What's the proliferation of wrestling doctors? I assume not all of those gentlemen had MDs or even PhDs. Jerry Graham, Sam Shepard, Dr. D. David Schultz, etc., etc. There's quite a gallery of doctors. Even beside the more obvious uses of it as an athletic nickname, e.g. Steve Williams, it clearly dates back to long before the Titan creative team started hanging wacky profession starters. And I thought that was it, because there have been a lot of doctors in wrestling. And I prefaced this with you just before we went on the air. I said, I've not made a list. Let's just talk about some doctors in wrestling and see how many we can come up with and what interesting things may. Because immediately I think of our friend Dr. Concrete, member of the Heavenly Body, fantastic trainer, Hall of Fame level talent. But he was really rewrite back after getting it. Yeah, they brought him into Continental. I think it was like in '86. And the Clovers, he came in as a heel. The Clovers and Jimmy Golden were doing a deal with him or some type of angle rivalry or whatever. And they were doing either a boxing match or a kick-kiss match. And they brought him in as the cut man to be in the corner in some fashion. And he was wearing the green hospital scrubs. But someone said that it may have been an inside joke because he wanted to peruse pharmaceuticals at that point. A good place to start might be with Dr. Tom Cruise. And just sort of hung as a nickname. Dr. Dick, does the people know when you're going to be the doctor of desire? The doctor of desire, because, you know, you take what's there and you tailor it slightly towards the updated gimmick. Not trying to reinvent the wheel here. And do the people know how Dr. Death actually got his nickname, which was before he started in pro wrestling? That story's been told so many times, but I forget it's been 30 years. Is this commonly knowledge now? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, how do you say that? I'm trying to remember, was it football or was it wrestling?
Oh, okay, well, good. If you don't know, then I know it, but people don't know. Doc, in Oklahoma, actually played football and wrestling, but I believe this was even before that. He wrestled in high school, because this was a high school deal. And he got a broken nose. But I think he did both sports at the same time in college. I think he was doing it at the same time in high school also. The point being, he broke his nose some kind of way, and to not miss any of the wrestling meets, he wore one of those face guards. Like, remember, it was done as an angle when they broke Ricky Morton's nose in '86. Flair did, and the Horseman. And he would wrestle with the face guard on. Or it's been done in a variety of places, but this was in legitimate high school wrestling. He put a face guard on so he could wrestle with his broken nose. And the coaches and the other wrestlers, you know, just kind of, they didn't know he was going to be a professional wrestler, but it was likened to him being a masked pro wrestler, and the person that they thought of was Dr. Death. He wore a masked wrestling name. And that stuck, and that he just used it, but he was being called that before he went into college and way before he was a pro wrestler. And who would be the first? Was it Dr. Roller? Was that the first wrestling doctor?
Possibly. I don't know about the first. That's a good question.
Dr. Roller in the early 1900s was one of the top shooters. And was he not the guy that in workouts leading up to the match, was he not the one that hurt Hackenschmidt's knee, which led to Hackenschmidt going into the second match with Dodge injured, and then Dodge double-crossed him and went for the fight. They had the gentleman's agreement. Hackenschmidt really couldn't win, but Dodge was going to trigger him, so they'd do 2 out of 3, and he wouldn't look bad. And then Dodge went for the leg and ended up to fall. And the scuttlebutt or the rumor was that Roller was in fact sent by Dodge's camp to infiltrate Hackenschmidt camp and hurt him in training. It was never proven, but it was highly suspicious. Did I get that correct? I think so. What kind of a doctor was he? That's a good point. I don't know. Hey, Tim Hornbaker, we might even know that. Doctor of Design. I don't know if they didn't have this out in the early 1900s, for heaven's sake. Good heavens. Back in those days, especially with the lack of hygienic habits, I bet desire was kept to a minimum. Dr. Bill Miller, or Dr. Big Bill Miller.
He was probably the most famous one for a long time.
I would think all during probably the late 50s and 60s, because he was a veterinarian in Columbus. Dr. Ken Rainey was a manager, and obviously he wasn't any more doctor than most of these doctors. But he was a manager, but that's why he had the interns, because he was a doctor, and the interns do what the doctor tells you to do. Dr. D. David Schultz, that came about just because I think he was probably watching basketball. Dr. James Julius Irving, Dr. D. David Schultz, it was just that era of time. Dr. Sam Shepard was legitimately a doctor, honestly, obviously. Not only the inspiration for the Fugitive series and movie, but also an osteopath, was he not, in real life?
That's right.
Till the, murder trials started and everything, then he had to become a wrestler. When he married George Strickland's daughter, I actually saw George Strickland wrestle live in 1974, and he looked like he was easily in his 50s at that point. So there you go. Give me some doctor.
Dr. Mylena. One of my favorite things about Dr. D. David Schultz, when he was on that Gordon Downey Jr. episode, where it was like him and Albano, and then Carlos CD at a podium, and they were just ganging up on Jim Wilson. And then Thunderbolt, after the other player, was David Schultz went after him. But at one point, David Schultz finally has enough of Jim Wilson, and he goes to throw water on him. And he throws his drink in his face. And Albano, at that point, Albano realized I gotta calm him down. And his way of calming him down was going, "Okay, doctor, all right, doctor." My name is the doctor. Doctor.
That reminds me of Lou Albano's favorite joke. I told you this, have I not? Every time I would see Lou Albano from 1993 until the last time I ever saw him, the first thing he said to me was, "Hey, hope that was that time you're real pissing."
Well, that was good.
Which coming from Albano is funny the first 3 to 7 times. But anyway, back to Dr.
You can certainly understand why Vince Jr. got really irritated with Albano often.
Even Vince Sr. fired him like 17 times.
Yeah, and Bruno was the one that elected him. He was like, come on. You know about all those big 80s shows at Gordon Downey, and I remember when they did Baby Jim. Hulk was a giant guy. He's an actual wrestler. And he's like challenging Hulk Hogan. And Albano's like, defending Hulk Hogan and the wrestlers. But Albano would say, whenever they want to bring up Blade, he's like, "You didn't know what to say to me. You're going to wrestle me." And looking at his sportscaster, all over the place.
He took out a goddamn a barber's straight razor in the garden and did it in front of everybody. We was drunk one night, man. It's been senior.
This'll show him. I know what's up here.
I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, there's one After magazine with a picture of him on the cover where he has like 17 blade marks all over his forehead, his cheeks, and his chin. But that was before he slowed down on the fence. But anyway, back to Dr.
Bookmaker.
Oh, good Lord. All right. I didn't think about that. Was she the first woman doctor? Woman doctor?
Women doctor?
Women doctor? Woman doctor? The first female to use the doctor?
I think so. I can't think of anyone else. I mean, I don't know if there's someone else. Dr. X?
Well, yeah, it's kind of, you know.
You don't know if he's a doctor or not. It's a mystery.
That's true. We have no way of seeing his. Did they just make his medical school diploma out to X? We don't know these things. Dr. Jerry Graham, the reason why he was a doctor, he was a hypnotist early in his career, right?
That's right.
And naturally, if you're a hypnotist, you have to be a doctor, because then that, you know, that makes it more legitimate.
Dr. Bernhard Schwartz.
No, he wasn't. He didn't wrestle.
Dr. George Zahari.
He didn't wrestle either.
But they were on TV all the time.
Well, Zaharian wasn't on TV as much as Bernhard Schwartz
Yes, he was. He was ringside for every WWF TV game.
No, I mean, they actually had Bernhard Schwartz coming in and attending the people and doing things on that TV out there.
I just saw a promo that's already cut on TV. On the TV big screen holding the mic. So Harley's cutting some promo about something. I forget what it was, actually.
Now, who are we forgetting?
Yeah, we have to be forgetting a lot of people.
We have to be, now a lot of, people are screaming now. People are screaming now at their various devices they're listening. What up, Dr. So-and-so?
Dr. Jerry Graham, Dr. D. David Schultz, Dr. Death, Dr. X, Dr. Ken Raimi.
Well, there's been many various masks like Dr. X's and Dr. Death's and, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right.
Dr. Isaac Yankum, you know, briefly.
And that was based on Mike Lehman, right?
No, that was based on Vince being pissed off one day when he had a dentist appointment, having too much time to think. That's what that was. Well, there you go, a bunch of doctors.
We have to be forgetting something.
I know we are. And see, I thought, well, it'll just flow. I'm stumped. And I know we're forgetting like 18 people that we're going to be feel stupid about. So this is an audience participation thing. Everybody send in your various doctors that we missed in wrestling.
When I did a couple of battle royals for Dennis, there's a guy working for me called Dr. Dick Hurts, which is just ridiculous.
Actually, that is the way that Dick Beyer, the Destroyer, used to introduce himself to people when he didn't want to reveal his real name. It was like the cops or whatever. Hey, how you doing? Big Dick Hurts. And they laugh. And they go on. And then you don't ask the guy with wearing a mask what his real name is. It's just not good form. I'll tell you one thing. If you don't want to see doctors, not in wrestling, but in real life, then you need to take good care of yourself. And the way you can take good care of yourself and not have to see a doctor as often is by taking your athletic greens. Is that not the case? Oh, Brian laughed.
I love my athletic greens. I start my day every single day. I have my breakfast, I have my athletic greens. I'm guaranteed I have all the nutrients I would need for the entire day, all the vitamins, all the minerals, and it tastes good. And then I put my, like I said before, my D3 dropper in there, so I make sure I get my D3 in case I'm not going to be able to go out into the sun because we're recording shows.
Yes, and it's dark so much longer now. Folks, if you want a comprehensive 40 fruits, vegetables, and botanicals, regular too. I'm telling you, I'm a pro pooper these days. But whether it's your busy schedule, poor sleep, lack of exercise, too much stress, not eating enough of the right foods, Athletic Greens is a daily all-in-one superfood powder, by far the easiest and most delicious nutritional habit that you can have. We all have bad habits, we should have good ones. So anyway, folks, not only is the Athletic Greens something that we all need to figure in, and it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy, or gluten-free, less than 1 gram of sugar, and they're offering all of us now, all of you out there, within the sound of my voice, a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase if you visit athleticgreens.com/JCE. 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free Athletic Greens travel packs today with your order. So join the health experts, the athletes, and the health-conscious go-getters around the world who make a daily commitment to their health. You don't have to be a go-getter, because I'm an ass-sitter, and I still want to be healthy. athleticgreens.com/JCE. Well, thank you for having that pithy comment about what I just said to follow up with. Should we talk about, I've got to bring this, the referee. The referee in it. Before we go into our NXT thoughts, and believe me, I have a few thoughts on that. I said this weeks ago. I called another one, Brian. I've foreseen, just by looking at a guy on television, I've seen into his soul and his psyche, and I've called another one. I said that one of the referees, did I not? Am I telling a lie? One of the referees on NXT, I said weeks and weeks ago, I was watching one of the matches, I said, is that fucking guy wearing blackface? And then once I thought that to myself, it's all I could see, because the back of his neck was pale, and his face was like he had put makeup on. It was so dark. It went even beyond the orange tint of the Mango Mussolini. It was just dark. And I thought, has somebody done some angle that I'm not aware of? You remember when I brought this up?
Oh yeah, because it made me look at it and pay attention to it.
And then you said it just looks like somebody that really is just not careful with his tanning and is trying to get cancer on purpose, like, I don't know, Randy Marsh get ball cancer to get.
Don't remember saying that.
Well, Randy Marsh got the ball cancer so he could get the fucking medical marijuana card, but then his balls were so big they wouldn't get in the door of the store. You remember when that happened? It was in all the papers. But anyway, come to find out, apparently, I think the guy was wearing blackface. Either that or he was trying to make himself up to resemble the Mango Mussolini, because apparently the guy's name is Drake Wirtz, and he has been on the internet under his own name with his smiley picture and WWE in his handle, associating with all the right-wing lunatic militia types and Proud Boys. Have you heard about this? Have you read about this?
I have.
They've got a right-wing Twitter. It's a new thing, because the people that have been run off of Twitter, and imagine how stunningly and bafflingly full of shit that you have to be run off of Twitter. That just the real egregiously stupid, conspiracy theory believing right-wing lunatics have now got their own Twitter called Parler. And old Drake there, maybe that's the Drake that they were quoting the other day. Old Drake there.
That was not the Drake that was.
That wasn't that same Drake. But he gets on this thing and says, hey, I guess it's coded language amongst these type of people. Hey, where's all my South Florida or South, whatever is area of Florida, where's all my so-and-so Florida patriots at? That's one of the code language for these stupid militia fucks that have their gun fantasies and play out in the woods because they can't get laid. Where's all my patriots at? Trying to be more active here. I assume going to Klan meetings and white supremacist, rallies and quilting bees amongst the white supremacist grannies and things. And he's got all the hashtags out. He's a big Trump fuck. and he's got the hashtag God Guns Trump. Already, I hate this fucking guy, right? God Guns Trump, hashtag MAGA, all this other stuff. And people find this and they've started going, what the fuck? So, it's not okay to say, no, I want to give up my side businesses to be an independent contractor and work for your company. But it's okay to actively promote yourself as one of these. By the way, the Proud Boys answered him. We're right here. Yeah, we're right over here. You know, just make sure. So
Where we've always been.
Yeah, where we've always been. Here in Florida. So you can actively court the favor of these right-wing goof groups and crow about the idiot in the White House that is destroying our democracy, throwing people's faith in our elections out the window, making us look like an idiot in front of the entire world, and our whole country's in disarray, and all of these lunatic militia groups and these violent right-wing fascist fucking whatevers and these fantasists that want to go out and play with their fellow boyfriends in the woods with their big rifles. It's okay, but don't stand up for your side business as an independent contractor because we'll can you on the spot. And he used to be a deathmatch wrestler now, we've come to find. That's been revealed. He used to be a deathmatch wrestler for one of the mud shows up there in the Northeast somewhere. So this guy apparently is a mental incompetent. Did I cover everything? Do you know any more about this?
The only thing I can say is I actually know some people that know him, and to a man they all say what a great guy is, how much they like him. Now with that said, not everyone in the wrestling business is a brain surgeon. Not everyone in the wrestling business is intelligent. I can't explain or excuse any of this shit. I will say